What is going on, guys? 8095 here. I'm just going to come out and say this. The Smash Bros. Community is on fire right now. There have been several Smash Bros. Pros accused of sexual assault and pedophilia. This comes from Screen Rant and many other sources. Links will be down in the description box down below. Multiple prominent members of the competitive Super Smash Bros. Community have been accused of sexual assault in several cases against minors. The accusations are just the latest in a wave that's been sweeping all corners of the games industry in recent weeks. Streamers, competitive players, developers, and members of the press have been accused of inappropriate behavior ranging from abusive workplace practices to sexual misconduct. Many of the most recent accusations center around Ubisoft, this is just going on. Also discussing what's going on currently right now. There's some Ubisoft employees that are being accused of sexual assaults, and a whole bunch of Twitch streamers and major YouTubers being their claims that they are also being sexual predators and all this kind of stuff. Let's see here. When it comes to Smash Brothers, the most recent round of accusations comes from young people involved in the Super Smash Brothers competitive scene speaking up on Twitter, several of whom say they were assaulted by other members of the community while they were underage. So the people who are victims were underage, or they may currently be underage. Let's read a bit more. Troy Papa Wells, I apologize if I mispronounced anyone's names or anyone's online personas. I apologize about that. Accused Cinnamon Senpai Dunstan of assaulting him when he was 14 years old. Captain Zach Loth accused Nero Kazeda of not only assaulting him at age 15, but also attempting to bribe him to keep quiet about the abuse. Richard Ketro King Jr. admitting to assaulting 16-year-old Shiva at a party after allegations surfaced. Caitlin KD Dominate Reddecker accused D-Ron D1 Main Gret of assaulting her on her 18th birthday. Papa makes a tweet. My experience with Senpai. Let me see if I can read that really quick. Let me bring it up here. It's going to take me over to Twitter. Long. Let's see what he has to say. My experience with Senpai. Through the entire summer of 2016, I had a sexual relationship with Senpai Cinnamon, as she was known as during that time. She was 24 and I was only 14. During my experience, I was manipulated, used, and sexualized. My entire life, I loved competing in Smash, and when I was 14, that was pretty much all I did. That's awesome, actually, competing in Smash at the age of 14. Kudos to Puppe here. Like I said, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing names incorrectly. I could only travel to the big tournament, Xenadu, the Cave, Fantastic Smash, during the summer since they were on weekdays and I had school. Since I was 14 and couldn't drive or anything, I would end up carpooling up to these tournaments. My friends and I would do it on a weekly basis and would travel up to the further away weeklies on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Cinnamon and I were really good friends with each other at the time from traveling to locals together so much, and we ended up liking each other a lot. Sometime before the summer of 2016, Cinnamon initiated sexual conversation on Snapchat with me, and I would respond, but I never truly knew if anything would come of it. Cinnamon and I would DM on Facebook and Snapchat. Her accounts on both are deleted currently and have been for a while on a daily basis. The first sexual thing that happened between the two of us happened one night after we got back from one of the tournaments we traveled up to. After the tournament, we went to the place we were staying at, and once we got there, everyone started playing Smash and the Mario Party after. People started drinking once we got back, which happened regularly once we would reach wherever we would be staying for at the night, but I would never drink myself. Something crazy ended up happening at the game we were playing, and since I was a hyper kid, I ran into the hallway towards the bathroom, away from the main room we were all playing. It was like a joke pop-off. Let's see here. I was pretty much in shock the entire time it was happening. I wasn't really opposed to it though, since I was 14 at the time and I liked her a lot. We spent basically every week together during that summer, so on top of the sexual things we would do made me start developing pretty strong feelings towards her. That was one of many times I had a sexual experience with her, but I'm not going to go into details about every single time since some of them are a blur in my mind and I only remember probably 3 or 4 times vividly. We would usually sleep together most nights after the first incident happened, and we would kiss a lot and cuddle during those nights. Our sexual relationship escalated as far as oral sex, but never as far as sexual intercourse. So he was only 14 when this happened, and she was I believe she was 20, he said. Let me double check that to make sure. It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure she was above the age of 18, which, yeah, you should not, if you're above the age of 18, you should not be dating anyone younger, like, especially not 14 years old. So far, Nero and Ketero have admitted to the assaults. D1 said that he did have sex with KT Dominate, but hasn't taken responsibility for any wrongdoing. Senpai has yet to respond. The Smash Bros. Community has largely expressed support for those coming forward with their stories, but Shiva has also shared screenshots of harassment from Twitter users in response to her coming forward, which is a sad thing. Don't harass someone when they're coming forward with accusations. Like, I believe, yeah, so far, 2 have admitted to these assaults. Nero and Keitaro, which like I said before, I apologize for mispronouncing names. Let me see here. The Smash Bros. Community is by no means the only place where these reforms are needed, but as a space with so many underage members, organizers urgently need to do better to protect them and root out predators. When it comes to news about certain type of players that are being accused of sexual allegations, T1 drops anti following public allegations. Esports organization T1 has dropped Super Smash Bros. Ultimate professional player and content creator Jason Anti-Bates following anonymous allegations surfacing publicly. Anti allegedly had relations with a minor in the past, but has publicly stated that he is innocent and is preparing a statement regarding the allegations made against him. So it's a different type of Smash Bros. Player that has, or is going to be making a statement later on, because, you know, he's saying that he's innocent. For this one, let's hear both sides of the story before we make any type of judgment call or, you know, anything by that nature. From what I've learned with the whole Pro Jared situation, both sides of the story need to be heard. While no statement has been made by T1 as of now, Anti confirmed via Twitter that the team had called him to terminate their agreement with him due to the allegations. Anti was hoping to seek legal counsel with T1's help, but is now apparently drafting a statement himself. So we move on over to NRG. NRG was the team that Nero was with. This morning, we were made aware of disturbing information involving Nero. We take these situations incredibly seriously. NRG has severed all ties with Nero. So just a simple tweet that NRG has released on Twitter, and Nero is no longer a part of NRG. And last thing I want to cover really quick in this video is one of the main Smash Brothers competitors out there, in my opinion, Zero. I know there's many others that are making statements, but I just want to see what Zero had to say. His response, he made a whole bunch of tweets on his Twitter, of course. He started off by saying, "I cannot believe everything that is happening. I feel so terrible and my head hurts. There is so much evil in this community. I'm so disappointed in everyone. I'm sorry I haven't said anything yet. I want to help and say something when I get really angry and just delete what I'm about to post. I grew up with a lot of these people when I first started coming to America when I was like 15. I'm speechless, man. A lot of people are asking me to make a video. I'm not. Sometimes I cover drama or controversies, but all of this is way beyond that, and it doesn't even feel appropriate to go and make a video about all of this. Please stop asking me for it." Let me see here. He also says, "My story." So pretty much Zero was friends with Ketero or D1. He lived with both of them at some point. And he says, "I never really saw them in these environments, simply because I wasn't there, nor was I someone who they spoke about those things, because I was just never have been into those type of things. It always seems so innocent. They're just having fun. They are just players," is what everyone always said. So to me, that's all I really believed about them, outside of the bubble I knew them in. Ketero was always this goofy guy who loves to party. Sometimes he would drink a lot. He was funny and charismatic and would drive me around places to tournaments. I never really saw him any different or heard otherwise, but my entire perspective of him has always been that since I've known him for an early age. D1 was a big inspiration for me. He was always wise, always had words to help me, always had a logical and compassionate take, and we went through a lot of difficult times in California together. I saw him as a brother. He was always the voice of reason in the house and mentored me in so many ways to become a better person. To see him in this light breaks my heart, man. It leaves me speechless and shatters a big part of me to even have to type this. But what's worse is that there was an entire side of them I never knew that was possibly just right there in front of me the whole time, and I did absolutely nothing about it, And the more I think about it, the more I feel like the stupidest person in the scene. Of course, Zero is not you are not a stupid person or nothing like that. It's not your fault. People that you know in life can always change, or they have a dark side to them. Lastly, he says, my relationship with Nero has always been a rocky one. We started off as rivals, and to put it simply, we really disliked each other, and we constantly had beef. At some point in Smash 4, we started getting along and then became friends, only to just clash again once I quit tournaments for content creation. Last time I spoke to him was almost a year ago, and before this, I was just straight up avoiding him. Nero and I had always the weird dynamic, and I don't think I've ever got to know him very well on a personal level, so while people may think we are best friends, this was never really the case. Nero, to me, my older brother looked up to him as a streamer and all this kind of thing. He seemed really cocky, but he was always really good in Smash, so I gotta respect the cockiness from him. But now, of course, I don't really respect him with all this going on. Let me see. I think the title of this is confusing people. This is meant to be my story with people who have been exposed as predators in the community. This isn't what everyone is thinking in the comments. Let me see here. Moving forward, the Smash Bros. Community needs to change. A reform needs to happen. Minors need to be protected. Security needs to be mandatory and stronger. Rules have to be in place to prevent unsupervised interaction. Which, when I read this tweet, I was really blown away because I was thinking, wait a minute, there's none of that right now in the Smash Brothers community. Like, Super Smash Brothers, I believe, is rated... In the past, it was rated T, but I think it's now rated E or rated E plus 10, or maybe it's still rated T. I also think alcohol in general needs to be banned from events, seeing too many people get out of control and there are minor side events. I don't know how people feel about this, but after parties at events should be changed, done with, or something. I was just talking to, there's another issue going on that someone committed suicide. Of course, rest in peace, Byron Reckful Bernstein. Let me see here. He talks about depression and all of this. I feel like I have to make a video addressing some things tomorrow, not in a gross way or clickbait, but to acknowledge it and share a positive message with my audience. It'll be so awkward tomorrow to just release a funny meme video and pretend everything is normal again. Thoughts? And I'm preparing a statement. I just want people to wait for it and give me time to compile what I have to say. So if you see here, let's head over to Nero's Twitter. I'm not making excuses. My behavior is wrong. I was wrong. I messed up tremendously. To Zach, I apologize for making you feel like you had to carry a burden all these years. That is not fair to you. I am truly sorry. I am taking some time for self-reflection. I am committed to getting help. I need to be better, grow, and learn. As a result, I will not be active on social media. That's why he's going to delete his Twitter. I betrayed the people who trusted and depended on me, the NRG esports staff who helped me professionally, and more importantly, the community who has supported and looked up to me for all these years. I failed you all. I am sorry. After all this, a couple comments and tweets made to him. After all the support I've given you over the years, I feel betrayed and disgusted by your actions. However, I'm not opposed to seeing you learn something and grow. Seek help, accept that you've lost the privilege of this chapter of your life, and move forward. Goodbye, Nero. Let me see here. I'm so sorry. Well, Sam put it this way. You don't have to worry about him and Brock anymore. Haha, that's... Okay. Get help, be better, grow, and learn, but don't come back either. It's over. We can give him a chance. I don't know about that. He had his chance and effing blew it. LOL. You're a good man, Nero. Stay strong. Good men don't touch little kids. Oh, yikes. Oh, if we want to get technical here, really the kid touched him. Zach really admits to being aggressor. Zach was a kid and kids do things they regret in the future. Nero is an adult that should have denied Zach's approach. I agree, but it's important to note that Nero wasn't even old enough to drink yet, and with all this happened, he did try to stop Zach's advances, but he pushed on. Being old enough to drink doesn't have anything to do with this. He was already 18 plus. Also, Nero didn't try to stop him too much. Stay gone. For what it's worth, this was the best possible response. I think the best response would have been, I'm turning myself into the police and being filed as a registered sex offender. That is the thing as well. So, with all this news going on, a couple of things that I just wanted to personally say. I applaud the people who are coming forward and telling these stories about, hey, I've been abused as a kid by, this content creator, by this Smash player, by this Smash commentator. I applaud those people. For the people who were accused and have admitted, hey, this did happen, I'm sorry, great. You are taking the first approach of getting help. However, and this is a big one in my opinion, you should be prosecuted. There needs to be some type of prosecution happening with these, these players and commentators who have admitted to doing this. They should be prosecuted and should be charged. They have admitted to it publicly. It shouldn't be like, oh, live and learn and, come back or whatever. No, I'm not trying to sound mean, and I know I'm not really part of the Smash community. I'm just someone who likes to play the games and kind of just like look in. I'm on the outside looking in, looking at it. And to me, it's like, no. And it's not just the Smash community, it's other people too who have admitted, and there's proof that they have done these terrible things to these people. You should be prosecuted. You should not. There should be no second chance. You should be prosecuted. There's no way that they should be coming back to this community. I hate to say that, but that's currently what is going on in the Smash community. There's a lot more happening to it. If there's major updates, I will report them, record, and make a video about it. It just kind of sucks. The community is really under fire right now, and you have some people trying to put it out. And yeah, once again, I do applaud for the people who have come forward and to tell their stories. But only time will tell to see what will happen with the players and the commentators who have admitted and been accused of doing wrongdoings. With all that being said, I will see you guys on the next video.